Hi, we're CG2, and this past year we worked with Amnesty International Detroit. Just like other CGs, we had a fair share of obstacles throughout the year. The most significant one was having a reshuffle in our team, as only 3 members from the first semester carried on into the second semester. This not only meant that we had fresh faces, we also had a smaller team, working with only 5 people for this semester. However, we feel that we were still able to make a significant amount of impact and effectively work towards not only helping Amnesty International Detroit across many avenues, but also learn a bit more about the organization and leave our imprint on human rights advocacy around the world.
Amnesty International is a global movement organization that campaigns for human rights. Where there is injustice across the globe, Amnesty International has volunteers who work to protest, connect with world leaders, and bring international awareness to pressing issues in order to avail in its resolution. As the Amnesty International site itself states, Amnesty International works to protect people where justice, freedom, truth, and dignity are denied. Amnesty International is a global movement filled with millions of people demanding human rights for all people, no matter who they are or where they are, what sexual orientation they are, what gender they are, what class they are, what religion they are, what race or ethnicity they are, etc. Amnesty International is the world's largest grassroots human rights organization, and the story of Amnesty International actually began back in 1961 when 2 Portuguese students were jailed just for raising a toast to freedom. Now, Amnesty International members, volunteer leaders, and staff fight tirelessly for change every single day. Fundamental human rights are denied to people across the world every single day. When that happens, Amnesty International finds the facts, exposes what's happening, and rallies people together to force governments and others to respect everyone's human rights. Last year alone, Amnesty International helped free 153 people who were wrongfully imprisoned because of who they are or what they believe. Amnesty International helped change laws in dozens of countries on refugees, reproductive rights, LGBT equality, free speech, the death penalty, and other critical human rights issues. From start to finish, Amnesty International's work focuses on the individual, people whose human rights are abused, and people who have the power to change the world. Amnesty International actually received the Nobel Peace Prize for their life-saving work.
In the first semester, we were tasked with doing the Rights for Rights campaign. In this campaign, each of us had to write 3 letters of our own choosing regarding various human rights injustices occurring around the world for individuals for various cases in regards to protesting and being activists for various human rights issues such as LGBTQ rights, women's rights, or workers' rights. The goal was twofold. Firstly, it was for us to utilize our voices by advocating for individuals to be able to exercise the human rights across the world and targeting governments to release these individuals who have been apprehended. And secondly, it was for us to learn a bit more about these cases occurring around the world that we would not have been familiar with otherwise, and to also find specific cases that we strongly identified with and felt strongly about, and have the opportunity to play a direct role, albeit a small one, in protecting the rights of those activists. We achieved this by writing letters to various governments and institutions that were apprehending individuals who were merely exercising their rights and voicing their opinions on matters that they felt were of grave concern to them. In the past, Amnesty International, through the Rights for Rights campaign, has been able to, with the help of various volunteers, be able to send thousands of letters to various governments and, in fact, actually get individuals released from imprisonment. We were happy to play a small role in working towards continuing to help Amnesty International strive to help individuals across the world being able to exercise their human rights.
Urgent Action Network. In Amnesty International, we took part in taking action by writing letters or emails to those who had their human rights taken away by voicing out their beliefs. In doing this, we would be reaching out to those who have the power to prevent any individual from having their human rights infringed in situations where they have caused no harm and are only speaking their truth. Urgent Action Network has helped many from being imprisoned any longer in a country that silenced them, as well as to stop the executions that have been set forth an individual who was only expressing themselves. This is important because through these actions we are able to advocate for those whose human rights were violated when they were only trying to make a change for themselves and or for others. When this occurs, they can face years in jail while also enduring torture at the hands of those in authority at the location of their imprisonment. Most recent cases in Amnesty International, protesters, journalists, and organizations that fight for human rights are few of many that have been imprisoned, sentenced to years in jail, or waiting for trial while being tortured in their cell. We send letters and emails fighting for their human rights. There are also cases of disappearance or murders, and in these situations we send letters and emails to find those who are at fault, calling forth an investigation for justice to give their loved ones a fair trial and integrity. We send out letters to a country's government, giving hope to those who are currently in prison in some way and those who are facing dire moments looking for justice. Anyone, anywhere in the world is able to send out letters as well and take part in this organization and take action. We seek to bring awareness and change to the situation that a human is experiencing in their own country or in another country and to stop any breach in their human rights.
So one thing we did for Amnesty International was we started a social media project. And I think what's something unique about this is that we initiated this effort. We definitely saw a potential in the reach that Amnesty was drawing, especially in the Detroit and Ann Arbor community. So we decided to set up Instagram accounts as well as a Twitter account for Amnesty International. So far, we've designed 4 posts and 4 tweets that highlighted strong issues in the community and worldwide that were featured on the Amnesty International website. I think the most important thing about this, however, was that we taught our supervisors, both Ken and Geraldine, how to utilize each account to increase their outreach. Although this was a somewhat difficult process, I think we got it under control and have set them up for a long endeavor into social media. And hopefully this is for the best for them.
To conclude our presentation, we would like to say that our internship with Amnesty International has given us a new appreciation for the effort it takes to stand up for human rights and defend those who are at the forefront of these movements around the world. And all of us had the chance to explore our issue of most interest, and we were able to present our findings as well as our personal takeaways on our chosen topic to our supervisors as a final presentation. And we're extremely grateful to have had the opportunity to make a real-world impact on Amnesty International and those who depend on it. And lastly, we would like to thank Ken and Geraldine Grinnell from the Detroit chapter of Amnesty International for all of their support. Thank you.